Greetings, valiant Helldivers, and welcome to the Liberty. I'm your host, Vanguard. Let's get straight to business as the enemies of managed democracy never rest. Galactic War Recap. It's day 404 of the Galactic War, and at present, 20,227 Helldivers are deployed in the field. 14,991 troops, about 74.11% of our forces, are on the bug front. 4,197 troops, just 20.75% of our forces, are on the bot front. There are currently no operations against the Illuminate, and thus no Helldivers deployed on the Squid front. As we speak, there's 20 minutes left of the current major order. The Helldivers have succeeded in holding Achenar Secundus, Ursica 11, Fenrir 3, and Heath, and the construction of the Penrose energy siphon can proceed as planned. It is anticipated that feedback will be given shortly and that a new major order will be issued within the next few hours. To date, the Helldivers have completed over 464,758,000 missions. More than 3,276,000,000 troops have given their lives for the cause. Over 104,023,000,000 Terminids have been exterminated. In excess of 41,585,000,000 automatons have been scrapped, and over 19,386,000,000 Illuminates have been eradicated. Helldivers, we must hold aloft the light of liberty at all times. If we do not defend and uphold managed democracy, then all hope for a better future are lost. Stay true to yourselves and never give up the fight. Borderline justice. The war for democracy heads to the Wild West. Super Earth's frontiers have never been so lawless. Until now. The latest premium Warbond, Borderline Justice, arms Helldivers with the tools of a true space cowboy, ready to enforce democracy in the most remote and dangerous colonies of the galaxy. This Warbond brings an arsenal straight out of the frontier, including the R6 Deadeye lever-action rifle for precise eliminations, the LAS-58 Talon revolver-styled energy weapon for sustained fire, and the TED-63 dynamite to send enemies flying. Need a better vantage point? The Lift 860 hover pack lets you rise above the action for the perfect shot. Not to mention the sample extractor booster, which might reward you with a sample for taking down a large enemy. In addition, two new rugged armor sets, the GS-17 Frontier Marshal and GS-66 Lawmaker, let Helldivers dress the part. Whether they see themselves as a wandering bounty hunter or the no-nonsense sheriff of Vernon Wells. And while cowboy hats remain outlawed by regulation, the tip hat emote ensures your greetings and farewells still have that frontier charm. If you've ever dreamed of cleaning up the galaxy with the spirits of the Old West, Borderline Justice is your call to arms. So saddle up, Helldivers, and prepare to bring law and order to the battlefield when this Warbond arrives on March 20th. For Super Earth, for freedom. Patch report. Bugs squashed, clankers tuned, but democracy's work is never done. High Command has released a new patch aimed at keeping Helldivers combat ready and our glorious war machine running smoothly. This latest update fixes critical issues, stabilizes weapons and stratagems, and ensures Super Earth's finest continue their tireless march toward managed democracy. However, new challenges have also emerged, requiring continued vigilance from all Helldivers. Fixes and improvements. Extraction beacons will no longer land on top of enemies, rendering them unreachable. Extraction should now proceed as planned, unless of course you fail to hold the LZ. Optimized colony environments for smoother operations and fewer frame drops while liberating planets. Various crashes when dealing with excessive particle effects, game shutdowns, and poor network conditions against Terminids have been resolved. Players blocked from completing objectives due to unavailable stratagems should now be able to finish their missions without issue. The G123 thermite grenade will now reliably arm itself rather than fizzling out when democracy is needed most. The LAS-17 double-edged sickle no longer crashes the game when wielded at peak efficiency. And the CB9 exploding crossbow will no longer auto-discard entire magazines mid-reload, because democracy deserves precision. Players in low-activity regions will now see lobbies populate properly, and quick play will function as intended. Disconnections and gloom missions with poor host connections have been fixed, and Steam Helldivers will now have their profile names displayed correctly. No more unknown soldier issues. Memory leaks for better performance have been fixed, and the raise weapon emote will now properly fire in the direction of the weapon, because misfiring is undemocratic. Then, Helldivers will no longer slide around after ragdolling, despite it being the Year of the Snake. These are known issues that High Command needs more time with. In spite of the above improvements, certain undemocratic issues persist. Top priority is the black box mission terminals may be inaccessible if they spawn underground. Stratagem balls have developed a rebellious streak, bouncing unpredictably off cliffs, and Dolby Atmos is refusing to work on PS5, possibly due to automaton interference. Medium priority issues include Helldivers can get struck on Pelican 1's ramp during extraction, equipped capes may appear blank in the armory, this is democracy emote may cause accidental unscheduled spacewalks, and guard dogs do not visually indicate when they are out of ammo, leading to potential tactical miscalculations. Final orders. Helldivers. This update ensures better performance, fewer crashes, and fixes to some of our deadliest tools of liberation. However, more work remains. High Command urges all soldiers to continue reporting issues while maintaining maximum operational efficiency. Stay vigilant, stay democratic, and remember, only you can prevent unscheduled spacewalks. And now for the democratic question of the day. Fellow Helldivers, today's question is one of great strategic importance. If you received a care package from home, what would it contain? Would it be something to lift your spirits, something to keep you in the fight, or something to remind you of what you're fighting for? Let's take a look at what our brave Helldivers had to say, and of course, provide some constructive feedback. Megafrog writes, a cooler full of fresh steaks, to have a taste of home once again. Ah, the classic Helldiver diet. Protein, protein, and just a touch of more protein. Just be sure not to leave it out too long. Bile Titans are notorious for sniffing out a free meal. Corgi Doo Guy writes, a huge bottle of Liberty and 70 Liberator mags. Hydration and firepower. Hydrate or liberate. Just make sure you don't mix up your tea flask with your ammo pouch. Both are essential, but one is significantly harder to digest. Thomas Foster 7387 writes, at least 3 boxes of super shortbreads and a picture of all my folks. A touching tribute. But let's be real. You're eating all 3 boxes in the first 5 minutes of downtime. The picture of your folks? That's just to remind you who taught you how to demolish snacks with military efficiency. 91st Galactic Crusaders writes, squid steaks. For Calypso. Now that's dedication. Just remember, if your steak starts glowing, don't eat it. That's not seasoning. That's dark fluid contamination. Dragonslayer 7199 writes, I'd get nothing. I was raised on Muradesh. Now all I have is fading, clinging hope. May liberty guide me at this dark moment. You will see Muradesh again, soldier, even if it's just a chunk of it floating in space. Until then, take comfort in the fact that your despair is democratically sanctioned. Arca HC6SH writes, a few games, like Stratagem Hero Pocket Edition. A solid choice, but if you've got time to game, you've got time to reload. You wouldn't want to be mid-match when an automaton drops a bunker buster on your head. Zapper7771 writes, simple, extra grenades. The only correct answer. No further comments needed. You, dear Helldiver, are a patriot. Ice Lord Cryo writes, a bag of freshly ground Democ coffee and a compass. I'm always getting lost. XD. A compass? That's advanced navigation technology. Real Helldivers simply charge in whatever direction their squad is yelling about and hope for the best. Emperor of Mankind Official writes, a bunch of Liberty-flavored chicken wings. Deep-fried democracy. The real question is, ranch or blue cheese? Answer carefully. And Chiron Primus 7001 writes, Liberty with fresh honey from the Isles of John. A sweet photo of my wife and a keepsake from St. Andrew's Academy. For freedom, for democracy. Beautiful. But just remember, if that photo isn't holographically encrypted, the automatons will use it to track your family. The best way to honor your loved ones is to obliterate the enemy before they even get the chance. Democratic Roomba, Helldiver proposes the Spider Mine for tactical autonomy. Super Earth's greatest minds, and its most enthusiastic Helldivers, never stop innovating new ways to bring managed democracy to our enemies. The latest proposal, courtesy of a particularly inventive Helldiver, is the Spider Mine, a mobile explosive device that combines the best of traditional mines with just a pinch of horrifying autonomy. Unlike stationary mines that wait for an enemy to trigger them, spider mines actively rush down threats within 20 meters, ensuring no clanker or bug gets away unscathed. Designed to cover a significantly larger area than standard mines, these little walkers act as democracy's janitors, eagerly scrubbing the battlefield clean of tyranny. While concerns have been raised about their potential for enthusiastic, friendly persuasion, seasoned Helldivers know that collateral freedom is still freedom. Would you deploy the Spider Mine? Or is the idea of a self-propelled explosive creeping around just a little too terrifying? Credit to the brilliant Helldiver who proposed it. Savings Macaroon 785, you've got a future in the Ministry of Defense, or psychological warfare. And now for the Super Earth Art of War. To defeat the enemy, you must first destroy their will to fight, strike their supply lines, disrupt their movements, and they will crumble before they even reach the battlefield. Interpretation for the modern Helldiver. A true Helldiver understands that the war against tyranny is not just fought on the front lines, but in every logistical detail of battle. The key to victory is not always overwhelming firepower, though that certainly helps, but ensuring the enemy never gets the chance to fight at full strength. Cutting off enemy reinforcements, sabotaging their factories, and denying them resources weakens their ability to retaliate. When the automatons lose their fabrication plants, they cannot manufacture more war machines. When the Terminids are starved of biomass, their swarms thin out. The Illuminate, with their over-reliance on dark energy, become powerless when their conduits are severed. This is why High Command issues strategic major orders to eliminate enemy strongholds before they can become major threats. A well-timed raid on a Terminid breeding hive prevents the birth of millions of war beasts. A preemptive strike against an automaton production line means fewer Hulks and Devastators marching onto our liberated worlds. Helldivers must understand that while brute force wins battles, strategic disruption wins wars. So the next time you deploy, remember this wisdom. Strike where it hurts, deny the enemy their tools of war, and make sure they never get the chance to fight back. Because a Helldiver's greatest victory isn't just the battles they win, it's the ones the enemy never even gets to fight. For Super Earth and democracy.